Save-a-thon, the annual year-long event where you could save big by bundling home and auto with Progressive. So big that we're kicking things off with fireworks, a monster truck battle, a fighter jet flyover, and it wouldn't be a party without the home and auto bundle Extrava-Festa Save-a-thon dancers. You can't really hear them, but trust us, they are working it. So come for the fun and stay for the savings. Only at Progressive's home and auto bundle Extrava-Festa Save-a-thon. Insurance company affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. Fruits and vegetables are very environmentally friendly foods. Make them even more friendly by eating them in season and by choosing produce that is local and organic. Shopping at farmers markets are a great way to do both. And start growing fruits and vegetables in your own garden. Even if you live in an apartment, you can start with just a few potted plants. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Breaking news! DraftKings is live in Louisiana with daily fantasy sports, meaning you can begin playing right now. To welcome in the new football season, DraftKings is giving all new players a free shot at $1 million during Week 1. If you haven't tried DraftKings yet, now is the perfect time. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Nothing adds excitement to watching a game like having a free shot at huge cash prizes. And while you're perfecting your daily fantasy skills, don't forget to check out DraftKings free-to-play pools, where there's even more cash up for grabs. Download the DraftKings app now and use code THEBIG870. For a limited time, new players can get a free shot at $1 million during Week 1. Don't miss out on the action. That's code THEBIG870, only at DraftKings. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
From the Peretti family dealerships to you and your family, we hope you are safe, out of harm's way, and beginning to recover from Hurricane Ida. We wanted to reach out to let you know that we're open at all locations and ready to serve your automotive needs. Or, if you just need a cold bottle of water, some AC, or internet, stop by any Peretti dealership. We're happy to help in any way that we can. That's Peretti Mazda and Jaguar Land Rover in New Orleans or Baton Rouge.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Companies. If you thought you missed your chance to refinance and save, think again. Mortgage rates have recently dropped below 3%, and Rocket Mortgage can help you save big. You could lower your monthly payment and prepare yourself for a better financial future. But you've got to act now. Call us today at 833-8-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Conditions apply. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLS Consumer Access.org number 3030.
Get your game day groove on from Marco Prosecco from Italy, only $12.09, and Meiomi Pinot Noir, only $15.63. Shop local and easy. Come on in and save. Dornax Food Center.
Family owned, family operated, family friendly.
Plan the retirement you've always dreamed of. Listen to Your Money Matters Saturday mornings at 7 here on WWL, the news, talk, and sports powerhouse of the Gulf South.
Hey, North Shore, we want your stuff. DependableStorage.com.
For eligible individuals 18 or older only. Not available in Oregon or West Virginia. Results vary. See website for details and safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With hearing aids from Lively, everything is done remotely in the comfort of your home, from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. With Lively, you get premium Bluetooth-enabled hearing aids at thousands less than you might expect. The best hearing aid technology is now affordable and convenient. Your hearing aids are sent right to your door, and if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week. No charge.
Aw, you people at Lively are wonderful.
With Lively hearing aids, you get free shipping, 3 years of follow-up care included free, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage. You can't lose.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Now get $100 off your hearing aids when you go to listenlively.com/radio. That's listenlively.com/radio. listenlively.com/radio.
Odyssey's going back to school. And
there's the last one.
you need, like A+ exclusive music stations and podcasts to help you or your student excel. Wake up and get the school day started with Acoustic Sunrise, the best mix of acoustic pop. Hit the books with Classical Odyssey, passionate classical music to help you focus while you study. Listen to essential school podcasts like Grammar Girls Quick and Dirty Tips for Better Writing, and be inspired with TED Talks Daily. Get back to school with new exclusive stations, plus all your favorite local radio stations and podcasts on Odyssey.
All things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on WWL and Odyssey Station. Connect now on the Oak Hart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. That's Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. You can always check out Albert and I's Facebook page, our Nicaud and Sunseri Facebook page, or go to IdaHurricaneClaim.com, IdaHurricaneClaim.com. We are posting all types of material on insurance claims, issues, things that are occurring. We're posting about every other day on the issue of the day. So feel free to go to those websites and those resources. And they're very, very helpful because knowledge is key. We have John Terrio. He's a CPA. He's going to talk about how business owners what they need to do in order to document their business interruption or business loss claim, especially with the recommendation of Commissioner Donnellan that the civil authority provision does apply to homeowners policies, which presumably that would be transferable to the business interruption policies, where if you didn't have physical damage, wasn't able to open due to utilities or power outages, that you have the ability to collect business interruption under the civil authority provision, or that's at least our position. So John, thank you for joining us, and we appreciate you giving us your time.
You're welcome. Glad to be here. I think obviously the first thing that you need to check is your policy itself to see if you have the business interruption rider in there. And now's a good time, if you do not have it in there, now's a good time to get with your insurance agent and make sure you add that in there for future references, because this could be triggered, but not only with a hurricane as we just had, but it could be triggered by a fire or other types of incidences also. So you first need to check and make sure that you have business interruption in your policy. And obviously an event like this would trigger that part of the policy. So wind damage to your facility, your building, your office building that puts you out of business would trigger this type of coverage. And so it covers your loss of business income as a result of this. And a lot of times the policies will cover up to 12 months, but every policy is different, so you have to refer to your policy on these types of things. But it could cover your business income losses up to 12 months. And it's spelled out in your policy how we make these calculations, as I've done for you guys many times, Albert and Doug. But it's spelled out. Basically, you take the formula is your expected net income. So how much money would you have made during this period of time? Let's just say the month of September. How much money would you have made net income? And you look back at prior years to help determine that. Or let's say you were having a blockbuster year, you can certainly project that into there. And so now if you're looking back at September 2020, you got to be careful with that, because you could have had the effects of COVID. Negative effects of COVID. So you may go back to 2019 and say, well, 19 was a normal year for me, 2019, September. So for that particular month, I would have made X dollars. So that's the beginning of the formula, is your expected net income. How much income would you have earned for the month of September? And then to that, you add your continuing operating expenses. So you take all the expenses you incurred for the month of September to keep your business up and operational. So if you paid salaries, and if you paid rent, if you paid utilities, and telephone and marketing and advertising, dues and subscriptions, et cetera, so those expenses would be added to that expected net income as part of the business interruption formula. And also, the third factor that you consider is extra expenses. So you also get reimbursed for the extra expenses that you would have paid, such as if you had to pay employees or people to come clean up the facility. Maybe you had to pay lodging for employees to relocate them in order to get them in a close proximity to your business, so after the storm you can come back and get operational as soon as possible. Temporary types of equipment, rental of temporary types of equipment that you purchase. So these are types of things. Maybe you had to get extra security on the premise because you had a wall blown down or something like that. So these extra expenses are the third part of the formula. So that's really what makes up your business interruption claim. In a nutshell, that oversimplifies it, but in essence, that is how it is calculated. And as you guys just mentioned, there is a couple of triggering events. One would be the wind damage. So if wind blew a wall off, a roof off, that obviously triggers this business interruption coverage within the policy. And very interesting what you just brought up, because let's say you had no damage, but you evacuated for a week or 2 weeks, and you had no power, and you couldn't access your facility and so forth, like what happened to a lot of us. So that gets triggered under the other component of the policy that you just mentioned.
Civil authority, yes.
Civil authority, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, civil authority. So where what we're hoping, obviously, is for these policies to trigger this mandatory evacuation in the civil authority. So if you were forced to evacuate because of the civil, and you do the business interruption calculation as same as we just explained, so that would be a triggering event to trigger your business interruption also. So, and typically the civil authority in the policies, and every policy is different, but typically they're going to pay about 3 weeks of business interruption claims. And that would work for most of us if you didn't have damage to your facility and you had to evacuate and you were out for a week or 2 weeks because of power outage and so forth. And so if you can trigger the civil authority, you can at least get reimbursed for that part of your earnings and expenses that you out.
John, we got about 3 minutes to the next break. We're going to hold you over, but Albert's going to have you break down each little component you just talked about.
Okay.
So I wanted to talk to you about, and we can talk about this after the break. I know we got about a minute or two, but if I'm a business owner and I want to, have a business interruption claim submitted, what documents are you looking for? Tell me what I need to provide to you to make your job easier in calculating the loss.
Or if you have an internal CFO who can, do it themselves. But either way, what documents do they need?
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of companies use the QuickBooks accounting system, and so that's the first thing I would ask for is their QuickBooks backup file, which really give me all their accounting records. Then you'd want to see tax returns or internally generated financial statements that would match up to those QuickBooks files. So if they don't use the QuickBooks accounting system, you'd be working from basically the tax returns or internally generated financial statements. So that's the types of original documents that you'd want to begin to start making the calculations.
All right. I'll tell you what, let's go to an early break. So we'll have a good 6 or 7 minutes for John before the news. So we're going to go to an early break. We've got John Terrio, CPA. He's discussing how to prepare your business loss claim if you have a business either under civil authority, which we're going to die on that hill if they don't pay, or under physical damage to your property. So we'll be right back. Albert Nicaud, Doug Sunseri, your weekend lawyers, with John Terrio. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
Breaking news. DraftKings is live in Louisiana with daily fantasy sports, meaning you can begin playing right now. To welcome in the new football season.
Okay, I have 3 holding for the next hour.
Players a free shot at $1 million during week 1. If you haven't tried DraftKings yet, now is the perfect time. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition.
We'll see how many hold on here, and I'll get the names to you. Who's left on the line here?
Yeah, we're going to take
right during the news.
Yeah, we're going to take
DraftKings free-to-play pools, where there's even more cash up for grabs.
Not a problem.
Download the DraftKings app now and use code THEBIG870. For a limited time, new players can get a free shot at $1 million during week 1. Don't miss out on the action. That's code THEBIG870, only at DraftKings. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Hey, this is Paul LaGrange, host of the Home Improvement Show. Trust is what Burkhardt Air Conditioning Heating is all about. If your AC ever fails, trust them to be there quick and to get you back up and running. If you need a new AC, trust Burkhardt to treat you with respect, to help you save with a fair price, and to do the job right. As John Burkhardt says, trust is the foundation of their business. Just ask their customers. For all air conditioning this year, trust Burkhardt. Visit acpromise.com. That's acpromise.com.
Finding the places in life that give you joy is what Toyota is all about. Wherever your next adventure lies, the 2021 Highlander and Tundra are ready to take you there. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today.
Let's face it, we are all worn out, and we've realized how important it is to get a good night of quality sleep for our overall health and well-being. And I get that every night when things are normal with my Sleep Number bed. I like the bed nice and firm, so I have a sleep number of 90, but Sleep Number beds are ideal for couples because each person can have their own level of comfort and firmness with their own sleep number. Then I check my sleep IQ, which is in the lower 90s out of a score of 100, and I know I'm doing the right thing. Let's face it, we are all worn out, and we've realized how important it is to get a good night of quality sleep. You can discover the Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed. Now, during the final days of the biggest sale of the year, all beds are on sale. You can save 50% on the new Sleep Number 360 Limited Edition Smart Bed. Plus special financing, but it ends Monday. Subject to credit approval, minimum monthly payments required. See sleepnumber.com for details. There are Sleep Number stores in Metairie, Covington, and Houma, but for now, I'd call first to make sure they're open.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance to buy $1 million of affordable term life.
Okay, we have DuckDuckGo, which is the last commercial coming up.
800-568-2790. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-568-2790. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-568-2790.
We'll have 8 minutes, top of the hour.
2790.
Your life, your hopes, and whatever you were searching for at 1:15 a.m. It's really none of our business, and it shouldn't be anyone else's. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
All things legal on WWL. Consult with Nicaud and Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870. And don't forget to rewind on the Odyssey app.
We're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud with John Terrio, CPA, and Albert. You want to take it?
Real quickly, we handled hundreds of BP claims, which were pretty much all business interruption, right? And there were certain calculations involved with that was somewhat different because there was a system set up through the federal courts as to how it calculated, which was kind of unique to that. But what we learned was that there were a lot of different types of companies, right? You've got big companies with great record keeping. They have monthly profit loss statements. They have all these manners in which they can pull numbers and make numbers available to them. And then we have a lot of the mom and pops that, hey, look, I put the money in the bank, and if we got the money, I spend it, and we file a tax return every year, and here's what our net income is. And so it may even be a net loss, right? So what do we do with those companies? How do we dig down and pinpoint maybe the month of September or September through December when we're looking at sparse records?
Yeah, I would start with their tax return and whether they file a business tax return or if it's just put on Schedule C of their personal tax return. That'd be a good starting point. And then probably look at the bank statements for the prior, let's say we're going to do a calculation for the month of September, October. Look at the bank statements for the prior 2 years for those couple of months and see, or actually look at probably every month for the last year or so, but then go back to the specific months that we're trying to make calculations for. At this point, say September, October 2021. So we may go back and look at 2019 and 2020 and see if there's some consistency there. And so you could certainly project that, okay, this business always historically does X dollars a month. And so that'd be a good starting point. And then do the same. So you're looking at the revenue, the deposits into the account for that period of time, and then you'd look at the expenses that come out of the bank statement for that period of time also. And so there you're actually working up a profit and loss on that particular month by using the bank statement. That would be a sufficient way to do it, and that information could be provided, of course, to you guys and the insurance adjusters and the insurance company as the evidence of why you're making these calculations. So that would be a sufficient way to do it. It should be acceptable. Certainly be acceptable to me, and so it should be acceptable to the insurance company also, I would think. So that's one way to do it. And then obviously if somebody has a little more sophisticated records, then you have their accounting system that we talked a little bit about before. But then, and then when you're looking at extra expenses, you may want to get, the actual invoices for the extra expense. Let's say you bought a generator or you bought whatever you had to buy to try and mitigate your losses to stop your losses, in essence. So if you had to get some type of tarp to cover things and so forth, to reduce your damages, those types of things would be covered in the extra expense. So I would want the invoice, canceled check, and I'd want to submit those with the calculations.
Right, and I know that we're going to have to be a little creative with our clients this year because of the coverage issue, right? Because of the COVID issue.
COVID issue.
COVID is going to reduce. They're going to want to say, "Oh, look, in 2020, you
you made 25% what you normally made, so that's what we're going to pay you. And so we're going to give you an average over the last 3 years, or there's going to be ways where they want to try to, mitigate their own losses as an insurance company, right? So I think, it could work in your favor. If you were
a company that benefited by COVID.
Yeah, exactly. A company that benefited want to stick with those returns and say, look, this is what I made last year, and kind of let them figure that out, right?
If you were selling masks or hand sanitizer, you most likely could have got a good bump. But I would typically like to look at 2 or 3 years because I want to see these trends, and plus I want to see if there was a growth. So let's say if you go back to 2019, 2020, 2021, was this company in a growth pattern, growing 10, 15, 20% a year? Then I would certainly calculate for 2021 they would have kept on that growth pattern and compute even a bigger amount, because you want to look at the whole body, because you absolutely don't want to take a COVID, let's say 2020, and you're looking at that particular month of September 2020, and you were negatively affected by COVID, and that would not be, I think, a fair assessment of what you would have done this year in 2021. And you certainly want to look at January through August and see what that trend was. Were you having a nice growth trend during that period of time? For 2021. So you want to look at as much as you can in order to obviously maximize this loss in order obviously to recover as much as you possibly can. That's fair.
So, John, look, we're up against the hour. Give the audience contact information. How can they reach John Terrio and Malcolm Diener?
Yes, I'm the managing partner of John Terrio, Malcolm M. Diener, LLC, and we're on Causeway Boulevard. My phone number is 504-588-9288.
Great.
Thanks for giving up such morning with us and helping those folks out there try to maximize their claims.
Well, thank you. Glad to help.
All right. Thanks. And again, on the business interruption claims, since, if the insurance companies followed the directive of Commissioner Donnellan on the additional living expenses and homeowners that the civil authority provision applies, then theoretically it should apply to the business interruption. But like Albert said, I suspect that some insurance companies are going to thumb their nose at that directive and deny it anyway, especially if they intend on leaving the state at some point in the near future. So thanks, Mr. Terrio. We appreciate it. And we'll be back.
All of the New Orleans Saints and LSU sports. 870 AM, WWL New Orleans, 105.3 WWL FM and HD1 Kenner New Orleans. A radio.com sports station.
I'm Lisa Mateo. New information about the 9/11 attacks is being released the weekend of a special commemoration.
I'm Tom Foti. On the 20th anniversary of 9/11 and in compliance with an executive order from President Biden, the FBI has released the first document related to its investigation of the September 11, 2001 plane hijackings and the deadly attacks for which they were used. It runs 16 pages and is partially redacted. It points to contacts between the hijackers and Saudi associates, but it offers no evidence that the Saudi government was complicit in the attacks. They killed nearly 3,000 people. Relatives of many of them have sued Saudi Arabia for billions of dollars, contending it was. Tom Foti, CBS News, Washington.
A New York Times investigation is raising doubt over what the U.S. government says about a drone strike that killed an ISIS threat in Afghanistan. Times reporter Matthew Akins.
What the U.S. military interpreted as a series of suspicious moves turned out to be, from the evidence we collected, just another day at work where he's going around dropping off colleagues. And what they thought were explosives were actually water jugs that he was putting into the trunk of his car to take home because the water supply had stopped working.
Surgeon General Vivek Murthy defends the president's COVID rules, which includes vaccine mandates for businesses. He tells ABC.
Delta is a tough foe. It's thrown curveballs at us, and we have to be prepared to respond. And that is why the president announced an ambitious and thoughtful plan.
A group of Republicans are threatening legal action. Iran is allowing international inspectors to service monitoring cameras at its nuclear sites. Rafael Grossi is the director of the International Atomic Energy Agency.
We were able to have a very concrete result, which is indispensable for us to provide the necessary guarantees to the IAEA and to the world that everything is in order.
Tehran halts all recording at its sites as negotiations between the U.S. and Iran remain stalled in Vienna. The pontiff hits the road after surgery.
Pope Francis traveled to Hungary and Slovakia on Sunday on his first foreign trip since undergoing colon surgery in July. The Pope is scheduled to meet the Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban during a very short visit to Budapest and preside over the closing Mass of the International Eucharistic Congress. Francis then travels on to Slovakia, where he is expected to visit 3 cities before returning to the Vatican on Wednesday. Sabina Castelfranco, CBS News, Rome.
This is CBS News.
Facet Wealth, personalized and affordable financial planning for everyday Americans. No wealth or asset minimums. Quality financial advice for every stage of your life.
What can give you a competitive edge in today's red-hot housing market? Rocket can. That's because Rocket Mortgage can give you a verified approval. It could help your offer stand out. Rocket Technology provides a rock-solid verification of your income, assets, and credit, giving sellers greater confidence in you. Go to rocketmortgage.com or call us today at 8338-ROCKET.
A verified approval is based on an underwriter's analysis of your individual financial information, appraisal, and credit report. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states and MLS Consumer Access.org number 3030.
Are you a true crime superfan? Join award-winning 48 Hours correspondent Aaron Moriarty on the My Life of Crime podcast. Named the 2021 Digiday Best Podcast, each episode pulls you straight into the investigations, including a New York City after-party gone horribly wrong, a cold-blooded teen killer looking for a retrial, and more. Season 3 coming this fall. Follow My Life of Crime on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
WWL First News. I'm Tom Perumian on your official weather station, WWL-AMFMN.com.
Well, kicking off our Sunday with mostly cloudy conditions across southeast Louisiana, but big changes in the forecast. The rain returns to the forecast as well as the humidity. We have a good amount of tropical moisture that is going to remain over the area not only today, but throughout the rest of the week. Scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms will come in waves throughout the morning and afternoon, so keep that umbrella nearby. But the rain will keep our temperatures pretty okay, climbing into the mid-80s, so that's not too bad. Continuing to monitor a spot now in the Bay of Campeche. It is expected to develop into a tropical depression later on today, so that's going to keep our weather unsettled throughout the rest of the work week.
Your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan, tells us what's going on.
Okay, here's what it looks like right now. We have Mike from New Orleans. He has a question about his roof.
We are continuing to watch.
We have Scott from New Orleans who has some information on remediation.
Okay. Hunters are expected to investigate this area later on today, but the development
Okay, Mike from New Orleans. He has a question about what he can do about his roof.
55 miles per hour. That's the 45.
Who else we got?
Okay, Scott with some information about remediation.
Forecast is...
And Gary, who has a question about labor laws during this time of year.
Louisiana, WWL's Dave Cohen has an update on restoration efforts.
The latest update from the Louisiana Public Service Commission says about 100% of the power has been restored in Orleans, Jefferson, St. Tammany, and St. Bernard Parish. Still, vast areas are out, though, in Terrebonne, Lafourche, and St. Charles, where more than 3/4 of the customers still do not have electricity. In Plaquemines Parish, Tangipahoa, and Livingston, about 80% have their electricity back on, while power is still out in St. John Parish for about 2/3 of the customers.
And as if Ida wasn't enough, trash is still not getting picked up in many parts of New Orleans. WWL TV's Devin Bartolotta has the story.
Even before the storm, many in Orleans Parish were expressing concern about trash pickup, but it has been compounded in the days since. Today, Mayor LaToya Cantrell issued a statement saying in part, quote, "I want our residents to know that my team and I are doing everything possible to build capacity to rid our city streets of trash for good. I'm also asking for your continued patience as we bounce back from Ida and humble ourselves as our neighbors took an even stronger blow." Officials expect to complete initial first passes of all routes sometime late next week.
After surviving Hurricane Ida, the World War II Museum roars back to life on Monday. WWL TV's Katie Moore reports.
If you are looking for something to do with the family and to get out of the house, the World War II Museum is going to reopen this Monday. They said that with power restored and the site nearly cleaned up, they're ready to welcome visitors again. And to show their gratitude for all of the first responders, National Guard, electrical employees, and emergency personnel, they will receive free admission for the month of September. They're also offering half-off admission for all Louisiana residents until the end of October.
Here's Christian Garrick with WWL Sports.
The LSU Tigers knocked off McNeese State for their first win of the season last night, 34-7 in Death Valley in Baton Rouge. They take on Central Michigan in Tiger Stadium next weekend. The New Orleans Saints kick off a new era of football today when they take on the Green Bay Packers with Jameis Winston at the helm at quarterback for the Black and Gold. Kickoff is set for 3:25 right here on WWL. Christian Garrick, WWL Sports.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
A mix of of sunshine and clouds to kick off our Sunday across southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi. But the humidity and also the rain return to the forecast, so scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms are possible through the morning and the afternoon. The rain will be heavy in a few spots, so watch out for those, but temperatures only climbing into the mid-80s. Now we continue to watch a tropical wave now in the southwest Gulf of Mexico. It is expected to develop into a tropical depression later on today, but it is going to keep our weather unsettled throughout the rest of the work week. Widespread rain, heavy in a few areas, possible Monday through our Wednesday. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News.
From WWL, the news, talk, sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakland Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870, or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, we're back for hour number 3. We're extended an hour because of to the Saints pregame show with First Take with Steve Geller and Steve Court. And countdown to kickoff, I think it's at 1 o'clock with Bobby and Christian and the crew. And kickoff is at 3:25 for the Saints and the Packers in a home game in Jacksonville. I will tell you the story about how close the Saints almost went to Jacksonville under John Meekum. I've heard the story. He's told it to me. And I'll tell you that on another day when we don't have so many hurricane calls. But it's a very interesting story. They could have been the Jacksonville Saints in 1985, but John Meekum didn't want to do that to the city, even though it was a better financial deal for him. And he kept the Saints and sold it to the car salesman, as he said it. It was Tom Benson, who turned out to be phenomenal. Most important transaction in New Orleans since Thomas Jefferson purchased Louisiana in 1812, I believe. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Mike. Mike, you got a question regarding roofs. Hey, Mike, you on All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah, I was calling because I heard you talking about last week about roof slip, about the shingles pulling back and maybe not resealing.
Yes.
And my question, so after I heard that, I had somebody go up on my roof and inspect it, and they did say that, I had some shingles that weren't resealed. So called, made an insurance claim, talked to the adjuster, and he said he was going to get up there and look. And he said, there are signs, but just because the tab is broken doesn't mean it's from the hurricane. I said, I understand, but when we had the winds 100 plus, how do we know that it's not? Because in the fall, if we have another rain and it's only a 15-mile-an-hour gust, I'm afraid the insurance company says, well, that's impossible. It's damaged later when it's damaged now. I guess, what's your position, or what did you say on that when you were talking about it?
Albert, I'll listen.
Well, I think that you're going to have to assume that if you were in an area that contained, hurricane force winds, that any cracking or whatever, not wear and tear, shingles, et cetera, that just look like they're a little worn or a little discolored, but actually broken shingles or cracked shingles, et cetera, you're going to have to assume, and they're going to have to assume that this occurred during this wind event. And again, like the hill they want to die on, give us a call because that's ridiculous.
Okay. And the adjuster was saying, well, if there's no signs that it's peeled, but just because it's loose. He said, I have to write to the guy at the desk, and I guess he's like, sometimes he's like, I can tell you from my experience, the water runs down, so the roof isn't damaged just because the steel isn't sealed. And he's like, if there's no sign that it was actually lifted, but just loose, even if the whole shingle's up, he said, it may be something they don't pay. Like sometimes, he was just telling me, I guess, look, I'm going to do my job, find what I can. However, I can tell you, if it's just loose, they normally don't. And, I guess my position would be, well, yeah, we had 100-plus-mile-an-hour winds. How do I know? I never looked at my roof until
right.
You know what I mean?
And the fact is, how does he know?
So I don't know if it was pre-existing or not. I have no idea.
Well, they have to prove it's pre-existing. I mean, it's going to be, unless they can show it's pre-existing. Again, before Katrina, and I relayed this story all last week, is that we had a couple of readjustments, and then we finally, on our readjustment, we had a roofer who's had 40 years of experience and happened to retire and became a claims adjuster. And I've heard this testimony from other engineers and experts and roofing consultants, and this is a general statement, but I think it applies to most roofs, is that most roofs cannot sustain 90, 95 mile an hour winds for more than 5 minutes. And he goes, I know that these roofs need to be replaced, but my people, who I send the report to, a la desk adjuster from the insurance company, isn't going to write a replacement. And I'm just telling you this information. And so, the target is sort of moving. What good is it to have unsealed seal tab shingles? I mean, that's a contradiction in itself. Number two, the target has been moved a little bit because they're saying if there's not creases in the shingles, then there's no evidence that the wind lifted it, and that is probably a incorrect valuation method. I wanted to use another word that begins with a B and ends with a T, but I'm not going to do that. So, again, if you have unsealed seal tabs, which is a contradiction in itself, then there's a test that Eric White, who was on last week, uses to go to three or four corners of the roof, and if he lifts the tabs and there's more than 30% lifted, not sealed, then he says you need a new roof. So that's one of the things you have to advocate for, and you will need your roofer or a consultant to say it needs to be replaced and not repaired. Albert, you got anything to add to that?
Well, just again, the seal tabs are in fact it's an asphalt type coating. It's a little strip, and as the upper shingle is nailed, it lays on top of the other shingle, and that asphalt type strip seals it to the shingle below. They don't put nails in it, obviously, because then you get penetrations in your roof that are exposed. So that seal tab is what holds that roof shingle down on top of the one below it. When the wind is blowing at a certain rate, those seal tabs tend to be broken, and they lay back down. Yeah, but what typically happens is while that wind is blowing, it's also blowing debris in there. So the debris ends up getting stuck in between that seal tab, and it loses its ability then to seal to the lower shingle. And so what you basically have is a roof that is ready to blow off at any moment, or if we have a sideways strong wind, the next time it happens, those seal tabs lift up again, or those shingles lift up again, and rain blows underneath it and penetrates the underlayment, whether it's a tar paper or some other product. So the roof is clearly compromised, and the whole cracking issue is kind of ridiculous as well, because if you have a roof at the end of its useful life, right, then it might be more prone to cracking. But if your roof's 10 or 15 years old, it is likely still to be a little bit supple, a little bendable still, a little pliable. And so it can certainly lift up without there being any cracking. And so, the engineers, the roofing experts, the people that we talk to on a regular basis can confirm the science behind that. And even the elk and other roofing manufacturers that can come in and say, yeah, look, once this seal tab is compromised, your warranty's done. We're not going to warranty your roof anymore. And so if that's the case, then you've paid for this coverage, and you should be.
Y'all recommend if I go against them, because I understand what you're saying, and that was my question to the adjuster. Just like Doug said, he said, well, sometimes those desk guys, they don't. It's kind of same conversation with me, but he said, I'll go right up there again and go see if I do have an issue, because they're saying no, that's not a cause of the wind. You recommend just trying to keep going up speaking to a manager, and if not, give you guys a call after in the event I'm still having issues with them?
Yeah, I think you could do that. Also, if you're a roofer who's intending to fix it, to put a statement in his, if he has enough experience, he's licensed, and especially if he's testified in court, he could put a statement in his report or his estimate saying roof damage from winds from Hurricane Ida need a total replacement. And he could set forth, seal tabs, whatever testing he did or whatever protocols he went through to put in that report and submit it to the insurance company, because you could be putting them in a position where if they don't pay, not only would they have to pay for the roof, they have, they might be liable for penalties and attorney's fees for, unreasonable denial of the claim. So I would have some backup by the roofer, or you can hire a roofing consultant to hop up there and take a look, and he can write a report, and you can submit that report as part of the cost reimbursement for your insurance claim.
Right. Yeah, all he needs is a little statement as to why the roof needs to be replaced.
Correct. Yeah, and like I said, it was the type of damage, because from the ground it didn't look, it looked fine. Hearing you guys talk, I had a roofer go up and he checked, and he said, spots here, but then he found a lot of tabs that were not sealed. And he put me up on the ladder on the first row, and he kind of showed me, hey, look, if it's broken, you can lift it this easy. And if it's not, you're not going to lift it up with your hands. And, and he took pictures of everything he saw. And,
That's the other issue.
He just kind of said, I want to write what I can, but I can tell you the desk guy sometimes
he's going to write it
don't
down.
always pay for it. And that's what he left,
Well, that's when you take the next step, right? You get, $500 repair or $7,000 roof.
And I think the two issues in this very short time period of 14 days in the aftermath, I think the two issues that I see right now as most important is starting to develop are roofs and civil authority. Those are the two big issues that seem to be hotly contested at this point. And I think that I tell the story. I was at a meeting, and I'm not going to disclose when and where, because basically, insurance company would say, let's offer a patch, and maybe 10% of the people will take the patch, and then they say, well, let's offer and they knew pretty much that most of the roofs would be shot. Offer them a fourth of a roof, we think we can get rid of another 10 or 15%. Offer them a half roof, we get rid of another 10 or 15%. There's only 50% standing. And then offer 3/4 of a roof, and then maybe only 20% of the people are still standing after that. So that may or may not be the protocol. It was in the past. And so just understand that dynamics and just keep pushing through and advocating and getting support for that. All right?
Yeah, real quickly, too.
Real quick.
Let's go to a break, Doug. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to a break. Doug, Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your Weekend Lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
Yeah, baby. Football's back, and so is tailgate. The Saints VIP tailgate party at Benson Power is back.
Bigger, better, more delicious than ever.
And WWL has your tickets. 3 hours before Saints home games, all you can eat and drink. Premium open bar, gourmet buffet. Just steps from the Superdome. Go to WWL.
Okay, here's the way it stacks up right now. Scott, who has the remediation information. Gary, New Orleans, labor laws. We have Arthur from New Orleans, insurance question. Bill Metairie, insurance question. Adam from Mandeville, insurance question. And Nick from, he's on the road and has some roofing information.
4 to 8 p.m. Then game day, turn up the home team. WWL.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford afford term life insurance? To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-568-2790. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-568-2790. 800-568-2790.
At Progressive, we're making things even easier. We'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both.
Learn more at progressive.com or
Last spot on the set is
This is
Quicken
an
Loan.
message from Entergy. As we work to restore your service, please make safety your top priority. Portable generators should never be connected directly to a home's wiring, as this could send electricity back into the power lines where Entergy crews are working. For more information on generator safety, download the free Entergy app or visit EntergyStormCenter.com.
This is Attorney Doug Sunseri, host of All Things Legal on Sunday morning.
This is Attorney Michelle Demarest Sunseri. As a result of COVID-19, many are experiencing unique family law difficulties resulting in divorce and custody issues.
Also, we learn the importance of estate planning, wills, and powers of attorney.
At Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm, we make the complex understandable.
Call me in my battery office at 504-837-1304.
Or call me, the boss lady, on the North Shore at my new office in Mandeville at 985-624-9697.
Boss lady, really?
Are you a business owner doing your own bookkeeping? Why? It makes no sense, literally. Focus on what you do well, like growing your business, and let Accounting Services Unlimited handle your bookkeeping. Hi, this is Thomas Fontes. Accounting Services Unlimited is insanely affordable and equal to you. Call for a free quote. Accounting Services Unlimited, 4-717-6253. That's 717-6253. Or visit us at asu-llc.com.
Hey, this is Paul McGranch, host of the Home Improvement Show. Trust is what Burkhardt Air Conditioning and Heating is all about. If your AC ever fails, trust them to be there quick and to get you back up and running. If you need a new AC, trust Burkhardt to treat you with respect, to help you save with a fair price, and to do the job right. As John Burkhardt says, trust is the foundation of their business. Just ask their customers. For all air conditioning this year, trust Burkhardt. Visit acpromise.com. That's acpromise.com.
At Mike Brenner Injury Attorneys, we know that car wrecks don't take the weekends off, and neither do we. If you've been hurt in a wreck over the weekend, don't wait until Monday to get the help you need right now. We have people standing by, ready to take your call, ready to give you free advice, and ready to help you get the medical attention you need. You don't have to wait till Monday to call an attorney. Call me, Mike Bradner. We're the 24/7 injury attorneys, and we're available to get you the help you need right now.
Mike Bradner's the one. Call 345-1111.
Results may vary. Offices in Metairie and Hammond.
What can give you a competitive edge in today's red-hot housing market? Rocket can. That's because Rocket Mortgage can give you a verified approval. It could help your offer stand out. Rocket Technology provides a rock-solid verification of your income, assets, and credit, giving sellers greater confidence in you. Go to rocketmortgage.com or call us today at 8338-ROCKET.
A verified approval is based on an underwriter's analysis of your individual financial information, appraisal method, period, call for cost information, and condition equal housing lender license in the states and MLS Consumer Access.org.
All things legal on WWL-AM-FM.com and the Odyssey app. Connect with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
We're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers. Albert, we got a board full of calls, but if you could give a 2-minute explanation, if you can, on what homeowners insurance companies their duty to pay.
Okay, real quickly, give me 30 seconds because I do want to talk about documentation. So as an adjuster, you're on the phone with an adjuster, or he's in person with you. Look, I'm on the roof, and there's these cracks in the tiles, but I don't think that they're related to the storm, so we're not going to pay for it. Get that adjuster's email address and ask that adjuster, listen, I need you to put that in writing. I need you to send me an email putting that in writing. And then if you don't want to do that, listen, I've got your email address. I'm going to send you an email And I'm going to confirm our conversation. This confirms what you told me on this date at such and such, and then you now have a paper trail. You're going to want to use that information in that conversation as evidence when you file your lawsuit against them arbitrary and capricious. Segue into that. So there's a couple of statutes that protect insureds from insurance companies arbitrary refusal to pay claims that they should pay. And there are two types of claims against an insurance company. The first-party claim is a third-party claim. Third-party claim is if somebody rear-ends you file suit against that third-party insurance company. That's a third-party claim. First-party claim is your own insurance company that you pay premiums for every year or every 6 months or whatever for coverage for whatever the case may be. In this case, homeowners coverage. There are stricter liabilities and standards that the insurance company, first party has to abide by. So what you want to do is provide an adjuster or whoever is handling your claim, whether it's somebody at a desk or an outside adjuster, with what is called satisfactory proof of loss. And so if you get an estimate out there, you get a roofer to come along and say, listen, I can't just patch this roof, I won't warranty it if I patch it. It has to be replaced. Here is why it needs to be replaced. And you submit that to them. And then you're not paid within 30 days of satisfactory proof of loss, then they are now responsible for penalties and attorney's fees. And the penalty is a 50% penalty on the amount of damages due, and attorney's fees or whatever the attorney fee you have negotiated with your attorney. And so those can all be assessed in addition to the amount of the damages that you're claiming. So in like for that last caller with the roof issue, okay, look, we're only going to pay for a patch job and it's going to be $1,500. Okay, well, you know what? Send me the check for that $1,500, which is probably going to be below the deductible, so they're not going to send me anything. But send me that check. They have a duty to tender that amount, any undisputed amount. So if they think your claim less the deductible is worth $30,000, and you say, no, I think my claim is worth $80,000. They have to send you that $30,000 check. You don't sign a release. You don't sign releasing any further claims. They have to send you a tender. So don't feel like, oh my goodness, if I accept this $30,000, I walk away from any opportunity to or any type of suffering. So they have a duty to send that to you. One of the things that are going to be an issue right now, and this is a big issue. I know you talked about two others. This is a big issue. Most of the insurance companies use Xactimate formatting, right? And Xactimate it tells you how many lengths of baseboard, the paint, remove and replace everything is documented and itemized to the penny. Well, each month they update that software. If you look at your claim summary that they give you, right under the reference, you will see LA, that's Louisiana, New Orleans, and it's going to give you a month and a year. It's going to be 08-21. And that's going to be the Xactimate date in the area, the territory where that's done. This storm happened on the 29th. August of 2021 reflects current prices before the storm. So it reflects current pricing of materials and labor before materials became scarce, more scarce really, and before labor became even more scarce because people, I can't get to you for 3 or 4 months kind of thing. So all of those things are not factored into your initial claim summary that is being produced by your adjuster at this time. Claim summary that should be used is the one when you can finally get your work done, because that is going to now reflect what the cost of it's going to be to make you whole, and that number is going to be substantially higher. I know you want to go to calls.
Yeah, let's go to calls. Let's go to Mike. Hey, Mike, you're in All Things Legal. What you got for us?
Mike is gone. Let's go to Scott.
Okay, let's go to Scott. Scott, what do you have for us?
Hey, guys. Good morning.
Hi, Scott.
Hey, Scott. What you have for us, brother?
Hey, I'm in the mitigation restoration business, and I just wanted to give maybe y'all a heads up and everybody in the audience a heads up. We have conversations between our customer and their insurance adjuster for their NFIP claim, stating that they will pay for generators to power the drying equipment to dry out a flooded house in an area which is the Plaza, which has no power and is probably not going to have power for several weeks.
So they're saying they're going to pay for it or not?
They will not pay
They
for
will not pay
generators.
for
They have it in
generators.
writing.
Yeah, well,
and the other thing is they're claiming that demolition and cleaning is basically demoing sheetrock is 88 cents a square foot. I'm not sure what their contract states, but I'm pretty sure their contract is not with me. It's with the homeowner, and how they can decide what my rates are or what anybody's rates are after the fact doesn't seem to make much sense.
Well, yeah, well, I can tell you why. Because the homeowners' policies are totally different than the flood policies. They're totally different. The flood policies are underwritten by FEMA and the federal government. If they don't pay, according to the damages, they're not penalized. They have no provisions, for penalties or sanctions for them not paying what they're supposed to. On top of that, when you sue the flood policy, you can't even collect back your court costs. You can't collect back your, expert fees, and the damages limited by the flood policy are just your contents, your structure, and ICC to raise your house if you qualify. So the federal government puts these policies out not to return you to where you were before. It's just to assist in getting you back on your feet, because private insurance companies will not write on hold. They do supplemental flood policies, but they will generally not write flood policies in the absence of a forced placement policy that they may do at a ridiculous premium or a high premium. So the flood policies coverage is very, very limited. And also, too, we're going to talk about they have a different prescription period. You have to file a proof of loss within a designated time. It's 60 days right now, but they'll extend it, and we'll give you the extensions. But the flood policies and the homeowners policies have different laws that apply to them, and they're totally different animals. And basically, to summarize, the flood policies have limited coverage. If they don't pay what they're supposed to, they're not sanctioned. FEMA makes the rules as they go along, and there's not a lot you can do about it except, possibly take them to court and, and maybe, shake some more out of them. But it's very tough.
There is a response that I have available to me as a business owner, which is not to work with claims at all.
Well, what you can do in the case, if you have wind and flood, put your generator on the wind side, because the wind would pay for the generator if they're drying out ceiling and anything above the flood line. So there's an issue. If you got wind and flood, maybe some of those issues can be addressed by your homeowner's policy. But anything below the flood line won't. Yes.
Is he talking about
Baton Rouge when they had flooding in Baton Rouge and a similar reaction?
Let me tell you, I had over 100 cases in Baton Rouge. They're still not finished. And I could give you a lot of reasons for it, and I'll probably be sanctioned by a judge if I did give the reasons. But, that's right. NFIP is the government, and, they say we make the rules and you got to live by them, and you got to, keep beating your head against the wall until you get, something you can live with. So thanks for call. We got to go to break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Let's face it, we are all worn out, and we've realized how important it is to get a good night of quality sleep for our overall health and well-being. And I get that every night when things are normal with my Sleep Number bed. I like the bed nice and firm, so I have a sleep number of 90, but Sleep Number beds are ideal for couples because each person can have their own level of comfort and firmness with their own sleep number. Then I check my sleep IQ, which is in the lower 90s out of a score of 100, and I know I'm doing the right thing. Let's face it.
Here's the way it looks right at the moment. We've got Arthur with insurance question, Bill insurance question, Adam insurance question, and Joshua insurance. So it's insurance all the way to the end of the show.
360 limited edition smart bed. plus special financing, but it ends Monday. Subject to credit approval, minimum monthly payments required. See sleepnumber.com for details. There are Sleep Number stores in Metairie, Covington, and Houma, but for now, I'd call first to make sure they're open.
In South Louisiana, we spend a lot of our time in the kitchen, whether hanging out with friends and family or making that big Sunday meal. The kitchen's a big central spot in our lives. If your kitchen needs to be updated, now's the best time to come to French Quarter Facades in Harahan. We take you through the process, from design to build to happy. They say money can't buy you happiness, but it sure can buy you a beautiful new kitchen done right by French Quarter Facades.
French Quarter Facades.
As a Louisiana-based law firm, Mike Brandner Injury Attorneys has been handling hurricane claims for over 16 years. We know what you're going through, and we know how to help. Don't let your insurance company pay you less than you need to rebuild. Call Mike Brandner today. In New Orleans, call 504-345-1111. Or in the Hammond area, call 985-345-1111. Mike Brandner is ready to help you right now. Paid spokesperson, offices in Metairie and Hammond. Results may vary.
Breaking news! DraftKings is live in Louisiana with daily fantasy sports, meaning you can begin playing right now. To welcome in the new football season, DraftKings is giving all new players a free shot at $1 million during Week 1. If you haven't tried DraftKings yet, now is the perfect time. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Nothing adds excitement to watching a game like having a free shot at huge cash prizes. And while you're perfecting your daily fantasy skills, don't forget to check out DraftKings free-to-play pools, where there's even more cash up for grabs. Download the DraftKings app now and use code THEBIG870. For a limited time, new players can get a free shot at $1 million during Week 1. Don't miss out on the action. That's code THEBIG870, only at DraftKings. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
It's pretty bad.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind. Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres? No matter your learning style or experience level, Babbel has lessons designed for you that will get you speaking quickly and confidently. I tried learning Spanish before, but I couldn't stick with it until I found Babbel.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now he speaks Spanish.
I can't wait to use our new language skills on our upcoming adventures. Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
At Hancock Whitney, we've got your back. From Houma to New Orleans, we quickly mobilized our associates and partners, offering much-needed meals and water to the community. And we've already deployed over $2.5 million to support recovery efforts. We've got your banking needs covered too via mobile and online banking. For updates on financial centers, ATMs, disaster recovery assistance loans, loan deferral programs, and other recovery resources, visit HancockWhitney.com/IDA. Louisiana, we've got your back. Hancock Whitney Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Now, more All Things Legal, underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. All advice given and opinion shared are solely those of attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri. Back to WWL.
I can't hear him.
Oh, okay, we're back. Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. If you're unable to get, our board is full, and if we can't get to you, call us at a law firm at 504-837-1304, 504-837-1304. Also, you can look at our website. We have a domain, idahurricaneclaim.com, idahurricaneclaim.com. We have all types of materials on all the issues regarding Hurricane Ida claims. You can also go on our Facebook page, Albert or myself's Facebook page, or Nicaud and Sunseri. We're posting all kinds of information. We've posted all the podcasts we've done on WWL. And, that's great information, especially if you have an adjuster coming through, so that knowledge is power. The more you know about your insurance policy, the more you know what's covered, the better off you'll be, and the better off your recovery will be. Okay, let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Arthur. Hey, Arthur, you and All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri now for Nicaud. All right, Arthur, what you got for us, brother? Good morning.
Hey, good morning. I was calling in reference to Hurricane Ida. I noticed that my house sits on cinder block, and it's kind of leaning, it's buckling out.
And so it's been shifted. Albert, you want to take that one?
Yeah, I mean, what you want to do, you want to go hire the services of an engineer to go look at the structure and make sure it's structurally sound. Make sure it's safe for you to be there. And if it's not, that engineer will write up a report and probably a repair protocol to give to a contractor to go ahead and write up an estimate on repairing that issue with the fills or the beams or the piers or whatever seems to be damaged.
Yeah, because I looked in the home, and the walls, I guess, is separated. You can see where it's coming. Basically, I guess it's coming apart. I mean, not horribly, but it's separated. So, and where would I find that structure? I just go online, say structure, and look up structure engineer.
Why don't you call? We can send somebody over there. Call us at 548-337-1304 if you need a services of an engineering firm. We don't want to necessarily recommend that over the radio, but
we have a list of
calls. We can recommend somebody go over there and take a look at it. Write up a report. Has an adjuster been out to your place yet?
All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on WWL.
Yes, he has.
Okay, and did you point that out to him? Did he say anything about the wall separating or the shifting?
Yeah, he did. And I told him I requested a structural engineer. He said he's going to send in a report. But I said I'm going to take and spend my own money to make sure I'm getting treated right.
Well, that's right. So if let's see if he comes up with a structural engineer to come out to your house. It might save you some money because they may agree that yes, it's shifted or whatever the case may be. And if it doesn't, if they don't, or the engineer says no, there's nothing wrong, then you might want to dig in your pocket and get a report.
Well, that won't be a problem.
All right, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, let's go to Bill. Got a question regarding insurance. Hey, Bill, you and All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud.
Thanks for taking my call. Say my deductible is $4,000 and I had $3,000 worth of damage. I heard that the hurricane season is a year long. So, say if something happened again and it was $6,000, then I've already, it's like medical insurance. Once you get your deductible, then you're covered. Is it each storm or is it the whole year?
Well, your deductible is cumulative for named storms over the year. So let's say if you were under the deductible for this named storm, let's say you had a $10,000 deductible and you had $8,000 of damages. If another named storm came, God forbid, you would only you'd be $2,000 under your deductible. So you can basically combine any damages you had in a named storm in the same policy period before with your, with any new deductibles for a subsequent named storm.
Okay, does it have to be a hurricane or can it be like hail damage? Or
you got to read your policy, but I would say in most cases it would have to be a named storm deductible. But I would read your policy.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Okay, let's go to Adam's got a question regarding insurance. Hey, Adam, you and All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud.
Okay, great. I have a question. In the fine writing of some of the manufacturers,
I'll take a break after this.
Some of them state that if the wind
to X, let's just say 120 miles an hour, the warranty for that roof is voided automatically because the wind just got that high. Whether or not there was seal tabs broken, it doesn't matter. It's just if the wind got that high, the warranty is voided. What's your position on that as far as it relates to, if you had a warranty before the storm and then now you don't? So to me, that would require a new roof with a warranty to make you whole again. I want to get your opinion on that.
Albert, I'll throw that to you.
Well, I agree with you, and I think that the number is usually 130 mile an hour. So Dade County got hammered probably, I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago in a storm, and so the International Building Code required that things be brought to what's now called Dade County standards if you live along a hurricane-prone area like along the coastline, for instance. And so the 130 mile an hour winds were kind of the benchmark that was used for that. So things need to be built to withstand 130 mile an hour winds. That's the same wind for some period of time, et cetera, and not necessarily gusts. And so I don't know that we had a lot of that around here that came above that particular benchmark. But again, I'm not familiar with particular roofing manufacturer. They write those warranties nationally, right? Not necessarily just for hurricane-prone areas. And so, there are arguments, obviously, that can be made for both sides. Ideally, I'd like to get a hold of a rep for the particular manufacturer that could come in and perhaps testify as to what the warranty is, why the warranty is now voided, and what what factored into that decision. And then, of course, you've got to get weather experts in to talk about, what the particular wind speeds were in your area, and how long the sustained winds were, et cetera. So it's a matter of proof, right? If you're going to take that tack, but it's certainly something to bring up and say, look, I don't know warranty anymore. Again, if you make a claim with your insurance company, they're going to now have that burden to prove that, hey, wait a minute, you had 120 mile an hour winds for this period of time, in this area, et cetera, so we're going to deny your claim. So it kind of works both ways.
About 30 seconds, real quick.
So on my end, so if I have an insurance, or a warranty, and it's void now because it's over the wind that's stated in the warranty, the wind speeds, then I think it would be probably incumbent on the insurance company if they're going to deny the claim to prove the manufacturer wrong. Yeah. But in your opinion, real quick, if that's the case, I know all this legal stuff, but putting that all in a nutshell, technically, should a new roof be warranted or not if there's no more warranty?
Well, again, that's something, you've got the burden of proof as the homeowner to prove your damages. And so, that is one element of what your damages might be. Hey, look, I no longer have a warranty because this, and here's the proof of that. And so you're going to have to prove that, and they're going to respond and say, well, no, the wind speed wasn't that high, et cetera. There's going to be some argument.
All right.
I think it's certainly something you can argue.
Thanks for the call. Let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers. We'll be right back for our final segment after this brief time out.
Come on down to the Silver Slipper.
Hi, this is John from the Silver Slipper Casino, and I'm inviting you to join us every Thursday for our annual Rumble on the Gulf classic car, Jeep, and bike event.
Just got one holding on. His name is Joshua.
And Beach Cafe will be open under the hotel every Thursday, starting at 4 p.m. So come and join us and earn a chance to win that fabulous Harley Davidson.
Name is Joshua.
Yeah, Softail that's on display up on the casino floor.
We are going to have in the neighborhood of 4 minutes.
Have a good time at the Silver Slipper.
Where do you go when you want to sell a diamond?
CausewayCoinCo.com.
Brandon Hawley here. Premium windows. Professionally measured, professionally installed. ReliefWindows.com.
Hey, Baton Rouge, we want your stuff. DependableStorage.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-568-2790.
Make that 5 minutes.
Big Lou is
being generous today.
familiar with your problems. And if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-568-2790. That's 800-568-2790. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-568-2790.
Your life.
This is it.
Your home.
After this
And
one.
whatever you were searching for at 1:15 a.m., it's really none of our business, and it shouldn't be anyone else's. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
All things legal on WWL. Consult with Nicaud and Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line. 504-260-1870. And don't forget to rewind on the Odyssey app.
All right, we're back. Ducks and Terry, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Let me get that feedback out. There you go. What we want to do is, first of all, you can give us a call at 504-837-1304, 504-837-1304. You can also reference, we got a great resource guide, IdaHurricaneClaim.com, IdaHurricaneClaim.com. It's a resource that we have that will greatly assist in, getting information to you guys, to get you guys information that you need to have knowledge, have the power of knowledge in pursuing your claims, and it will be very, very helpful to you, especially with your interactions with the insurance company, desk adjusters, or field adjusters. So let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Adam's got a question regarding insurance. Hey, Adam, you know all things legal. Joshua. Joshua, you know all things legal with Doug Sunseri. What you have, Josh?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing?
Good.
I'm here. How you doing?
Good.
Good morning.
We got about 3 minutes. Be quick.
The question I have.
Yes, sir.
Very quick question. I have a bunch of different damage throughout my house. The main damage was the roof, but it wasn't too bad. So I had a roofer come check it out. I had him do the work, and I paid out of pocket already. My deductible's kind of high. But my question is, okay, the adjuster already came out. I got to get him some estimates on some other things that got, damaged.
Sure.
Let's say I paid $500 for the roof, but they say, well, the repair should only cost $250. Are they gonna?
No, I think they
gonna pay me what I paid.
No, I think they should pay what you paid. I mean, most people, a lot of people can't afford their repairs until they get the insurance money. The best case scenario, if you can afford to, is make the repairs, because that is the best determination is what the costs are, labor costs, because that's what you paid. So the only issue would be there is if any of the work was beyond the hurricane damage. But, most 90% of people are unable to pay their cost until there's, their damages until they receive the insurance money. So they should pay you every penny, provided it was within the scope of damages for the hurricane.
Yeah, it was. It's a fairly new roof. I think it's 2016. It doesn't have none of the seal tabs like y'all were talking about coming up. It just had some shingles that blew off, and the roofer checked it out, said the rest of the roof looks good. Make this repair, and I went ahead and did it.
What part of town are you in?
Activity in the Gulf.
What part of town are you in?
I'm in Metairie, Canada.
Okay.
Like Metairie, Canada.
You obviously had some type of obstruction that blocked the full force of the wind.
They had a big tree. They got a big tree in the front of the house, and then the pitch of the roof is very very long. It's a very tall roof.
Okay.
I think that's kind of what helped. the overhang is what blew up. The part that was sticking out the most.
Yeah, well,
in the middle of the house, it's got like a little overhang with a window, and that's where the shingles blew
I would
up.
just encourage you to be doubly sure that those seal tabs are, your seal tabs are, some type of test with your seal tabs, because it's not visible. Right. A lot of these damages aren't visible, and a lot of the adjusters aren't writing damage that's not visible. You got that issue with metal roofs. The metal roofs get lifted, and then they come back down. The screws screwing them down are not secured. You have some other issues, but it's not visible. So therefore, they're not writing it. So it's incumbent on the insured business owner or homeowner to get up there, get an expert up there to take a look at that and make an opinion as to whether this, more work needs to be done. So I would just say that Mary got hit very hard. They probably had gusts up to 100, 110 miles an hour. I'm going to say, in my opinion, most roofs can't sustain that. So I would be doubly sure that your roof is okay. Okay? I mean, it might be worth spending a couple $100 to get somebody up there to make sure that that your seal tabs are okay. Because if you have unsealed seal tabs and you have another event, the insurance company can come back and say, we're not going to pay for it because your roof was defective before the the next event. I've seen that happen before.
I'm trying to cover all bases with it. When the roofer went up there and made the repair, he walked around and checked everything out. But see, when I had my adjuster come out, he didn't even get up on the roof.
No, they're not getting on the roof.
Had me send them pictures.
That's what I'm saying. They're doing it visually.
I didn't like that.
They're doing it visually. A lot of them are, and you can't do it visually. You have to get up there. You have to get your rear end up there, and you have to start pulling on some seal tabs and see if they come up or not.
And I'm probably gonna get up there myself and check it again.
I would encourage that
because I didn't even know that happened.
I would encourage you to do that. Okay. I definitely encourage you to do that, because I think, I'm going to say this, most roofs are probably irreparably damaged in this event. And especially Metairie, the further west you get, the more likely that would occur. So appreciate the call, Joshua. Best of luck, and get up on that roof and see if your roof's okay. All right. You can give us a call if we couldn't get to you at our law firm at 504-837-1304, 504-837-1304, or you can go to our website, idahurricaneclaim.com, and then get some great resources on that. And stay tuned for the First Take with Steve Geller and Steve Court. We'll see you again soon. All things legal. Be good, be blessed, and just one day at a time in this recovery. Y'all be blessed.